Would you believe me if I told you that the Earth was on the brink of disaster in May 2024? We experienced the global Carrington event, which could have been devastating to our culture in minutes. This time, we fled with little fear. The G5 event caused only minor localized damage. About 200 years ago, it was a different story when a massive cosmic particle shower hit the Earth. Fires broke out and people thought God had punished them. Today, we know more about powerful solar storms that can strike and destroy power lines and communication systems. And we know that the danger is not over yet. In early May 2024, Earth experienced one of the strongest geomagnetic storms in the past 20 years. A powerful solar flare and coronal mass ejection sent a huge stream of particles from the Sun to Earth, causing a violent geomagnetic storm deep in the atmosphere. This particle shower was caused by one of the largest solar anomalies ever observed, an active sunspot called AR 3664. Scientists warned that if the sunspot continues to grow, it could trigger another Carrington event, increasing the risk of damaging storms in the coming months. In May 2024, a shower of particles from the Sun created spectacular auroras that were visible in unusual locations across the northern hemisphere. The northern lights were visible as far south as Hawaii and Queensland, Australia. The auroras were formed when charged particles from the solar wind interacted with the Earth's magnetosphere. Governments, scientists, satellite operators, and major telecommunications service providers have been closely monitoring the developments. The geomagnetic storm reached unprecedented levels, comparable to the Carrington event of 1859, but this time it caused little damage. During the first Carrington event in 1859, the electrical system failed, and the sky was bright even in broad daylight. In May 2024, the storm could reach extreme levels on the geomagnetic scale, causing widespread disruption. Solar storms could suddenly disrupt satellite communications and navigation systems, throwing civilization into chaos. This time, we were lucky, and only a few places experienced brief blackouts and power outages. Elon Musk even posted a chart showing how Starlink satellites reached their load limits during the storm. But the sunspot AR 3664, which is 15 times larger than Earth, can remain active for months. How would you react if you knew this threat was real and was coming to Earth? That's exactly what scientists who track the growth of sunspots have experienced. Sunspots are dark, cold areas on the Sun's surface caused by magnetic reversals. In May 2024, the sunspot AR 3664 grew so large that it could theoretically swallow 15 Earths. This caused the Sun to release a massive particle stream that could reach Earth in less than 30 minutes, while larger coronal mass ejections can take up to 3 days. Solar activity follows a natural rhythm of storm cycles that peak roughly every 11 years. The current sunspot, part of solar cycle 25, began in 2019 and is expected to peak in 2025. This means that the size and threat of AR 3664 could continue to grow. The sunspot reached an impressive diameter in May 2024, combining 16 spots into one massive region that is over 200,000 kilometers wide. The Sun's magnetic activity can cause powerful solar flares and coronal mass ejections. Sunspots like AR 3664 fade over time, but their size and activity can make them unusually long-lived. Scientists monitor them around the clock, and NASA is alerting major organizations so they can prepare satellites and power systems for the expected particle stream. The Carrington event of 1859 took people by surprise. No one suspected what was happening on the Sun until the plasma stream reached Earth just 20 minutes later. The telegraph system in the United States failed. Wires burned at telegraph stations. Sparks set paper on fire. The scene was shocking to watch. Plasma clouds hitting the Earth can cause geomagnetic storms when particles interact with the magnetic field. When this field is interrupted, the particles can penetrate deep into the atmosphere, creating auroras far from the poles and disrupting communication systems. In 1859, technology was in its infancy, and the sight of burning wires and bright skies was terrifying. Today, we know more, but the possibility of a powerful solar storm is still frightening. The 1859 event was the largest solar storm in the last 500 years, and we know that such an event can happen again. But are we prepared? We have developed early warning systems, and we are now observing the sun more accurately than ever before. Satellites track solar activity in real time, allowing us to better predict geomagnetic storms. When a major storm occurs, we must act quickly to protect our infrastructure, including our power grids and communications networks. Governments and organizations have response plans, but public awareness is also important. Understanding the impact of solar storms, preparing emergency supplies, staying informed, and knowing how to protect electronic devices are all important. Solar activity reminds us of our vulnerability and the importance of preparing for natural events that can impact our technology-dependent society. The storm of May 2024 serves as a wake-up call to monitor and understand our sun and its potential impacts on Earth.